Today we are focusing on a Stoic meditation, which is about one of the fundamental ideas in the Stoic school of philosophy. We're going to be talking about cause and effect, the logos, and determinism through the lens of one of Marcus Aurelius's musings, popularly referenced as the obstacle is the way, and was later expanded by Ryan Holiday in his contemporary Stoic book. The purpose of this meditation is to give you the presence of mind to allow you to calculate, to synthesize, to be able to view what these fundamental principles of Stoic philosophy, being determinism mainly, how these will play out practically on your world view, and of course furthermore through your worldview, how you live your life and how you practically go about doing things. After all, Stoicism is a practical philosophy. Now, this meditation is going to start with an audio-based exercise and a little bit of a brief body scan. And so, if this is interesting to you, please buckle up or lay down, get in whatever position that you can that is not painful and where you are supported and able to sit undisturbed for some time. If you can, please shut out other distractions, close any other tabs, or turn your phone on silent for a minute. Okay, now it's time for you to sit in the present, being the only time that you can ever actually be in, and start to listen. Maybe untense the muscles of your face, as you may have seen me just do, and isolate different sounds around you. If my voice is the only thing that you can hear at all, then of course feel free to focus on my voice. But through your headphones, can you hear the clicking or ticking of a clock? Can you hear a refrigerator or air conditioner, a dishwashing machine or a microwave? Can you hear a hum? Can you hear rustling, perhaps other people's movements? I would like to invite you to isolate one of those sounds and focus on it. Then move to another and focus on that sound. Perhaps you can hear the aeroplane passing over my house, and would also like to invite you to just gently and slowly breathe in and out with longer, drawn out exhalations and relatively short breaths in through the nose. And while you're doing this, you could most likely hear your breathing? Can you feel anything else associated with your breathing? Maybe you'll notice the sensation that the air going into your nostrils is a little bit cool, but escaping past your lips is a bit warmer in temperature. The breath is a good anchorage point for meditation, as many people choose, as it is a frequently rhythmic and repeating sound which is accessible anywhere, and it's also a multivariable feeling, as you can feel it as well as hear it, as well as control it. So, as you feel the air moving in and out, not forcing too much, I'd like to invite you to also feel where your body connects with whatever supporting surfaces are supporting you right now at this very moment. I know for me, my supporting surface is the ground, and I can feel the soles and heels of my feet pressing against the ground. Can you feel possibly the back of a chair? Are you sitting Caesar? Can you feel your shins on the ground? Or possibly you may be lying down. After you experience these things, I would like to bring your mind back to me, and so we can start the lesson. So let's begin with our dive into philosophy today. Do you believe in free will? Do you happen to believe in determinism? Do you lay somewhere in the middle or somewhere undecided? Well, the Stoics believed in something which is rather complex, called the Logos, which to them was a kind of coding language or base language or medium under which the universe operated. It's kind of like the universal spreading idea of logic, that something happens for some reason. It's cause and effect, basically. The Stoics would look at reality and see that things were the way they were because of a complicated web of interactions which led them to be. Variables and the choices you make further contribute to the variables and choices you'll be given and options you'll be given in the future. Sequences are laid out in the order in which they are, and there is no reason to think about what may have been, as that is not what happened, because the causes and the effects were not of that order, and thus it is a waste of time to think about what may have happened or what should have happened. Rather, if something did not occur, it doesn't logically make sense for it to have occurred, as the contributing factors which led to its occurrence prove otherwise. If, for example, you're walking down the street and you stub your toe, given the circumstance and the placement of that object which you stubbed your toe upon in physical space, and any other variables which led up to it, it would be strange for you to have not stubbed your toe. If your toe went straight through the object, making no contact, that would be breaking a rule of logic in the universe, and would logically make no sense. And so, there's no point wishing it didn't happen, or thinking about the universe in which it didn't happen, because that is not the universe that we are in. Events happen, and it's common for events to happen that we do not specifically want to happen or see as good things, though that is the nature of life. To wish it be any different would be to wishing that reality itself would be different. And maybe as an intellectual mind game, this might be a nice thing to employ every now and then, but logically, it's not useful to dwell on a wish of reality itself to change because you stubbed your toe. Events and their implications are the way in which we travel through life. When an obstacle comes in your way, getting through it, adapting, moving forwards, continuing to go, and that becoming your new reality is the way the time works. That is what the journey of life is. And it would be strange to not expect unexpected things to happen. Life is not a timeline with chunks missing where obstacles lay, and then you may jump over or around such an obstacle and get back to your life. Rather, life is a continuous stream, and the events which happen are part of it. Getting used to a hurdle, having an adaptation, that becomes your life. It's just another variable added onto the timeline. The way forward in your life is the way through the event. So what does this mean to you practically? Well, as I said before, we shouldn't be surprised when surprising things happen. And I do know that that sounds a little bit like a paradox, and perhaps it is, but it's still correct. I would urge you to ready yourself, to be aware and to be ready of the possibility that things which you view as negative will likely happen. And there is no need of great despair about these events. There may be sorrow, but you do not need to have any kind of grand existential ideas concerning these events as negative situations and hurdles are what is expected. There is actually another form of meditative, contemplative, Stoic meditation called premeditatio malorum, which is premeditating on the bad things which may possibly happen in the future. To eradicate the surprise is to also eradicate much of the pain. So, go about your day, live, love, and understand that things may and will happen, which you may see as negative, but you will face them with the same mind and tools and knowledge that you are facing the present at this current moment. And you will keep living life, and life will keep living on. Remember that the future and the past are intellectual ideas, and you never arrive at the future nor the past. You only continue to be in a steady stream of present consciousness from the beginning to end. And so you will transition into whatever experience next awaits you in the future. And by the nature of itself, time will continue to move, regardless of it being a good time or a bad. And that's something to remember all the time. Like a lot of Stoic meditation, the ideas here do contain some sort of bittersweet melancholy. But I would urge you to say that these kind of possibly nostalgic or romanticized views on life and death and living in the present and in the moment are extremely important to keep in mind. It is important to remember to do the right thing and to live in the present. And these are very simple ideas, and any type of guru or religion or philosophical system will tell you this, and it doesn't make it easier, but it definitely is good advice. And so, if you can, I would like to invite you to heed it, if possible. And I'd like you to just take a breath in and out. And start to slowly move about a little bit. I know that my shoulders always get a little bit tense when I film a meditation video. And very slowly come back to reality. Be mindful that you have just been in the same position for a little while, and I hope that you can keep living and keep loving.